In the heart of the Sahara, something older than legends begins to move. For the first time in 3,000 years, the Pyramid of Anubis takes a breath.
The god of death rises, and the sand itself obeys him.
And the king of monsters answers the call with an atomic roar heard across continents.
Power meets divinity, and the desert becomes a battlefield of light. The Guardian returns, not to rule, but to stop the world from ending. Magic armies rise, but monsters crush everything in their path. The sky belongs to Anubis, and he brings divine judgment from above. When the king is pushed too far, the desert itself begins to burn. For one moment, monsters fight as allies against a god. The army of the dead marches, but they've never faced monsters like these. One swing, and entire legions crumble back into dust. The King of Monsters paints the desert in atomic blue.
When a god wants darkness, the sun obeys.
From beneath the dunes, ancient forces rise against the Monster King. Not even our individual hold. Mortal strength against divine power, and neither backs down. A god's fury hits like a meteor. And the king answers with a strike that shakes ancient history. The world holds its breath as gods and monsters prepare for the next strike. The King of Monsters storms the sacred ground of a god. Anubis summons the spirits of the forgotten to tear the king apart. But no spirit can stand against pure atomic fury. Kong Guardian splits the earth itself to break the god stance. A god does not fall, he ascends. And the Monster King takes aim at the heavens. A guardian's strength can cross any distance, even the sky. A shield forged in the underworld, unbroken for 1,000 years. A god turns the king's own power against him. For one moment, rivals become allies against a god. And then, the true beast awakens from the dunes. The god knows the real threat and fires with intent to kill. But brute force speaks louder than magic. Enemies yesterday, unstoppable allies today. The Guardian jumps into destiny, weapon charged with atomic fire. And the beast charges with fury. Only a buried legend can carry. The desert opens, and the army of the dead returns. One beast, more destructive than 1,000 soldiers. rise. The king's breath sweeps death itself from the battlefield. And the god answers with a weapon forged from pure judgment. Only a monster of pure rage could stop a god's weapon with bare hands. And he breaks divine power as if it were nothing. But gods do not play fair.
The king steps in, reminding the god he's not alone.
One strike, one titan erased. Rage becomes a weapon of its own. But a god always has one final form. The world itself reacts to their power. No storm, no god can stop the one they buried. And then, the moment the world breaks, the god who challenged him falls before the true king. Allies and monsters, one force against destruction. The one they buried alive now commands all. The battlefield silent, but his rage remains. Remember, the monster they buried will never be forgotten.